Okay, it's uh, April the 19th, 2022 at 6:11 a.m. And I just had a dream. And I've got up and I've had one and a half cups of Death Wish coffee since the dream, because it was a dream that got into my mind so deeply that I had a hard time coming out of it, versus me waking up. Uh, so I'm still drinking the second cup of coffee. Uh, I guess I've been up maybe 30 minutes as far as the making coffee, restroom break, and all that. Uh, okay, so the premise of the dream was there was this like almost like a water park, and it was owned by Disney, but it was in Memphis, and uh, there was there was a person in the dream that's important to. After I tell you the dream, I'm gonna tell you the analysis of it, like I always do. But the person that was in it was key to the analysis of it. And it was a dancer at one of the clubs I worked with in Jackson, Mississippi, and her name was Heidi. Um, she was in the dream, and she passed away. It's probably been over 10 years ago. She ran off ran off the stack in Jackson, Mississippi, to her death in a car. She was in the dream, and she was somebody that I had a really short romantic involvement with, and it ended in us just being friends. Uh, but that's important to the analysis of the dream that she was in it. So the dream started out. All these people were waiting to get on this ride, and the thing is, they were waiting waist deep, or like mid thigh deep, in this real clear, clean water. As you're walking through, like a lot of people have been to Disney World and stuff. Like you walk through, and there's all these little storefronts and little trinkets, and it's obvious from looking around that you're in an amusement park. Except instead of walking with walking on bare dry pavement, you're walking in this water that's flowing, like flowing down. And the direction it was flowing was like where the people were walking. It's like it was Riverside Drive in Memphis, except it was in an amusement park that was part of Disney. And the direction people were walking was south, like the direction of the river flows, the Mississippi River. And so you get to where you get on the ride, and the ride is this enormous, I don't want to say snake, but that's kind of what it appeared like. This real smooth green snake. But then you realize what it really is like a beanstalk, like Jack and the Beanstalk. Okay, so you get on the ride by yourself and you straddle it like you're riding a horse. Okay, so, and it's undulating in this way that it's like it's a live animal. Like it's really a really slow moving. And the thing is that when you're on it like a horse and it's moving like it's moving, there's this feeling of euphoria that I literally became lucid and was aware that I was feeling that feeling of euphoria while I was having the dream laying in the bed. So you're on this thing like a horse, and it's this big green snake beanstalk thing that you can't see the beginning behind you, and you can't see the end in front of you. So it goes way up in the air. It goes up in the air so high it's like the height of an airplane, right? So you get up in the air and you look down, like you have to know the geography of Memphis. After you get out of the city limits of Memphis, it drops down into the Mississippi Delta. Like if you're on Highway 61 going south, you drop down into the Mississippi Delta. Well, like you're way up above that, like an airplane, and you see in front of you the Mississippi Delta, and instead of it being like farmland and sectioned off, like patchwork, like like the ground looks from an airplane, it's just like this immense, really smooth desert, right? So when you're up in the air on it, and all that smooth, immense desert's in front of you, and you can't see the end of the snake thing, and you can't see the beginning, you're just on it like a horse. There's this feeling of before you're way up in the air, there's nobody around you, you can't hear anything, you're riding this undulating horse, like beanstalk thing. There's just this feeling of euphoria, and I was lucid and aware of it laying in the bed. You're just feeling this euphoria. And then you get right to the point that you can see down in front of you. You start to descend, and you can see down in front of you where the landing part is, down in the sand. And then you land. Then there's the water again you're walking. So I was walking uphill, like trying to get back to the Riverside Drive area of Memphis, like you're walking uphill through the water. And I was the only one walking uphill through the water. Everybody else was still walking down towards, I guess, So as I'm walking uphill through the water, I'm lucid in the bed. I'm aware I'm breathing hard because I'm walking, up against the stream. I'm wading against the stream in this water, to get back to the starting point. And then I do get back to the little village, like where you get on the thing. And so at one point I jump back up on the thing, and there's it's almost like a car as you're waiting to get on your own part. There's these people in the car that they were people I'd worked with in a club, and they were all having problems, like their phones, their smartphones were fractured, like in 2 and 3 pieces. And the screen was still on, like it didn't damage the phone, except they were cut all the way apart, and like 2 and like cut twice, like in 3 sections, but the screen's still on. So they were trying to like piece them together and hold them as one piece in their hand so they could use their phone. And my phone was like that too. So I hatched a plan in my mind, like I need a piece of cardboard and some electrical tape to make a makeshift like phone case, like to cut the piece of cardboard in the shape of the phone and place the piece of, tape the actual pieces of phone onto it. So I went in this little specifically sporting goods shop that was like in the little village, still wading in the water. I walked down in there, and I start looking at the wares, in the sport. There's like tennis shoes, sporting goods, shorts and tops. And then I see this area that's like for wrapping a wound, like with an ace bandage or whatever. And I look, and it's like there's got to be some tape. And there wasn't. And I asked a lady that was working there right there, and she happened to be the owner. And she said, "No, we're out of that kind of tape." So that didn't work. That didn't work out. Like, oh man, my phone's still in 3 different sections. So then somehow I get back on the like beanstalk snake thing and start and ride it again down to the bottom, get off, and that's the way I woke up from the dream. I woke up from the dream in the euphoric state, like I was still on the thing in the dream when I woke up from it. And that's why it's taken me the better part of half an hour, more than half an hour, to actually fully wake up. I'm still not fully woke up from it. Okay, at exactly 10 minutes into this video right now, that was the dream. So now the analysis. Like, I analyze dreams according to Jung and Freud together. Like if Jung and Freud were sitting in a room together, analyzing the dream, interjecting their own wisdom and it's part into their own, both of their philosophies. Okay, so first of all, the big seahorse, big green, uh, beanstalk snake thing. That's obviously my sexuality. It's phallic, right? I'm a man. But that represents my sexuality, and at the euphoria even brought me lucidly into the bed. The euphoria, the full body euphoria of my own sexuality. And the thought of it being an amusement ride is kind of interesting. Like, I've always kind of felt like my sexuality is on display, especially in my strip club years, which the majority of which were in Memphis. But my friend Heidi, who was in the dream, she kind of showed me how to ride the dream, even though she didn't really show me how to have sex. It was interesting that she was in the dream to represent my strip club days in Jackson, which really, if I really think about my strip club years, that was the real virile years of my sexuality. To the point that it conceived, my sexuality was successful in conceiving one child during those years. So then the fractured cell phone is the fact that right now, and this is getting real personal, but that's okay. The fractured cell phone is the fact that I'm having to supplement my sexuality with testosterone injections once a week and Viagra, no less than 100 milligrams, right? So that leads to, like, to paint the whole general paint of the picture that, me searching out the tape and cardboard to, like, piece, my sexual, experience back together, like the phone. That represents me trying to still have a sexual experience. And you can get into more analysis, like, I think that when I woke up from the dream, my takeaway is always the end of the analysis, right when I wake up. And I think my takeaway was that I need to get out. See, the dream was all outdoors. It was in sunshine. It was a very sunshiny day. And I always dream in color. And I remember the snake thing being green and ultraviolet, purple colored, translucent, but it was outdoors. And I think I think that the dream was trying to tell me, in redundantly illustrating my sexuality and the path it's on, redundantly meaning I already knew all this. But I think the fact that it was out in the sunshine, and the sunshine felt so good on me, the sunshine was leading to the euphoria feeling. I think that my mind's trying to tell me that I need to get outdoors more. And I do. I stay indoors. When I'm not out on a lawnmower mowing a yard, which is only 2 yards every 2 weeks, so 4 yards a month, then I'm outdoors. The rest of the time I'm outdoors is just if I'm walking to the car, riding around in the car, going to a business, most of the time locally. I'm outdoors maybe one hour out of every 24-hour cycle. I think my body was telling me I need to try to get outdoors more. And I think that's the way we'll end this. I think that in general, that the dream, the message of the dream was I need to get outdoors more, because maybe there's euphoria and fun to be had in the outdoors. And I'll end it with that. Thanks for watching. I don't really know where this channel is going, other than I've done a lot of dreams with analysis. So stay tuned for more than that. If you would, hit the like button and the subscribe button if you're interested in other videos like this. This is Kendall Johnson signing off. Hasta la vista. Namaste.